Good evening and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Alex Monti alongside Nazir Spencer. For the next few minutes, we'll present our top 5 sports stories of the week and discuss why they made our top 5. Did your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At number 5, the Packers lose to the Broncos. The Packers offense struggled to get any points in the first half, but took a 17-16 lead in the fourth quarter, though it wasn't enough as a field goal and an interception from the Broncos solidified the Packers' loss of 17-19. Nazir, what does this loss mean for the Packers?
I think the Packers are fine. I think the Packers just are a young team. You know, they're still trying to figure things out. Jordan Love, he still looks good to me, everybody. I don't understand why people still hate on this guy. He still had 180 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 21 rushing yards. I mean, Romeo Doubs is looking like he's, breaking free a little bit. 2 receptions for 30 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's getting to that level where you can start considering him as the Packers' number 1 wide receiver. I don't think they have a number 1 wide receiver, but he can potentially be that eventually. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, had an outstanding game, 194 passing yards, a touchdown, and 21 yards. I mean, he looked like prime Colin Kaepernick against the Packers out there. He was outrunning all the defensive players. It was ridiculous. I mean, I don't like rooting for a division rival in the Broncos, but I did have the Broncos winning this game because the Packers are a young team. They just don't seem simply ready to face a really good defensive mind in Sean Payton, and it's going to be a really decent season for them, I feel like, but I think things will work out for them in their favor in the future.
Yeah, I feel like with the Packers, it's a young team. They'll still have to develop. This is definitely not going to be their year, but another side note with Christian Watson. I believe that is their number 1 receiver still at the moment, but a lot of development to happen. At number 4, the UW-Whitewater football team gained another WEAC victory after defeating UW-Stout over the weekend. After getting a field goal in the second quarter, Whitewater's offense became unstoppable and dominated in a 37-20 win over Stout. Nazir, with 3 WEAC games left, what does Whitewater have to do to win the conference title?
They got to win on Saturday. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because last year we lost to Platteville, and they're coming here to try and ruin our playoff hopes and also our homecoming week, which would be horrible, and it would be a horrible game to watch. And I just don't want to go out like we did against La Crosse. But, last weekend, UW-Stout we played, Stephen Hine had 3 catches for 103 yards, including an 80-yard touchdown, which I still, to this day, do not know who was supposed to be guarding him because the coverage was completely blown. But on the defensive side, Tyson Harvey really impressed me. He had 2 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and an interception, although there was a pass touchdown on him. But I think that was just a technical mistake by him with his footing and his back facing the wrong way. And Ward Panthier had 3 tackles and a forced fumble. And Caden Straka, Nehemiah Lomax, and Roy Panthier all had sacks. I think the defense looked amazing, everybody. I think our defense did the exact job that they're supposed to do. Our offense needs to step up this week and put some points on Platteville. I mean, this is going to be a tough one to get out, but the last 2 weeks I'm very confident in, and we should make playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like currently they've got the momentum on their side. They've just got to close out the season. Being homecoming, I feel like they'll have all the motivation that they need to really seal the win this week. At number 3, after 7 weeks of the NFL season, Patrick Mahomes is now in the top spot for the NFL MVP odds. Mahomes passes Tua Tagovailoa with a win over the Chargers this weekend, much to my chagrin, after being tied in Week 6. Nazir, do you think Mahomes is going to win MVP again this year, or is another player going to take the title?
He probably will win it if he has a mediocre year. It doesn't matter. The NFL loves Patrick Mahomes, but my MVP personally that no one talks about for some reason is Lamar Jackson. He's been playing outstanding. He's leading a team with barely any wide receivers still. I mean, Odell's on the team. Zay Flowers is great. But, I mean, in my opinion, there's no debate that Lamar Jackson is the MVP right now, but you got other people like Christian McCaffrey, who's a running back. The running back hasn't won it since Adrian Peterson, I believe. And Jalen Hurts, as a Eagles quarterback, he can be the MVP as well, but he still looked a little iffy against the Jets, which I think brought him down a little bit. Brock Purdy, he's not the MVP in my opinion. I don't think he really has a chance. I think anybody can go to that team and really have a good record with all those weapons. But, I mean, I think Lamar Jackson deserves it the most, but if we all know this, if Patrick Mahomes has, a good season, just a regular season on that mediocre offense, he will win MVP, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at it, they've got a pretty easy schedule going throughout the rest of the season. It shouldn't be too difficult for them to rack up wins. And I mean, really, the MVP bothers me because I feel like it's just not who is the most valuable, but who is the quarterback on the team with the most wins, which is not what it's supposed to be, but it's really what it's become. We've got more coming up on the list, including the MLB playoffs and the NBA's regular season opening day. We'll be right back.
Hawk Talk, I mean, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW-TV.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
It anyways. Oh, she got that. Oh, they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes. Yes.
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Welcome back to the list on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top sports stories. At number 2, the Rangers advanced to the World Series after a crushing win of 11-4 over the Astros. Game 7 victory secured a 4-3 series win for the Rangers. Now the Rangers open the World Series at home on Friday. Nazir, who do you think will win the World Series?
It was really disappointing to see the Phillies lose yesterday because I had them going. But I got the Rangers winning now because I will not root for the Diamondbacks who beat the Brewers. I can't do it. I will never do it. But I got not the Phillies, sorry, but I have the Rangers winning in 7 games because Arizona has proven that they really want it. They fight to the end, which I can't really knock that. But we got some standout play by Adolis Garcia. Went for 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. And Garcia is the ACLS MVP. I mean, the Rangers, I feel like they have it. I feel like that this is their year. They completely embarrassed the Orioles, which was my team to go to the World Series in the ACLS. I had the Orioles and the Phillies, but I mean, there's nothing much more to say. I just got the Rangers winning that.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like with the Rangers, there was a lot more money spent. Like theirs was more of a route of free agency and such. With the Diamondbacks, it's more development and trading. And I feel, again, the Brewers' curse lives on. I had predicted that they would make it there, which, it's no surprise. I can't believe that it's happened every single time they're in the postseason. The Brewers just they're the gateway to the World Series. It's the wildest thing. But I do believe the Rangers, they just have a little more star power. And now it's time to reveal our number one sports story of the week. The NBA season tipped off on Tuesday with 2 games. The Lakers and Nuggets going head-to-head in the Suns versus the Warriors. Nazir, what are your first impressions of these 4 teams?
I'll start with the Lakers. They looked like they just looked horrible. I mean, Anthony Davis specifically scored 17 points, no rebounds in the first half, and then decided not to put up any points in the second half, and about like 7 rebounds or so. But you know, as LeBron's aging and you're in your prime, you should be the one, you know, the face of the league right now. So that's my take on the Lakers. The Nuggets looked unstoppable. Jokic triple-double machine, looks like a bigger Russ out there. Just unstoppable right now. I don't really see anyone being the 1 seed besides them, unless the Suns can somehow start playing defense. But the Suns, on the other hand, looked pretty good. KD didn't look so good, but Devin Booker did. I'm excited to see Bradley Beal tomorrow if he decides to play against the Lakers in LA, but that should be a good one. And Steph Curry, my favorite player, he had an okay shooting game, 8 for 20. That's okay for his standards. He still had 27 points, but the Warriors should be a little lower than last year, even with the pickup of Chris Paul. But I mean, those 4 teams are going to be great. Regardless, maybe the Lakers not so much. I hope they are for LeBron's sake, but otherwise, I think these teams are great.
No, I think it should be another exciting season. The West seems very open and for the taking. It's all really just going to come down to, as always, who can really stay the healthiest and who is going to be able to last throughout the long season. And that will do it for this edition of The List. We'll be back next week to talk up the sports headlines. For Nazir Spencer, I'm Alex Monti. See you then.